Hey everyone, it's Rebecca Ruth, and thanks for popping on and watching our, well, it's not a live, our recording today, our interview today. But today I have Telia Garry with me. How are you, Telia?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you, thank you. So as usual, I like to jump right into it. So tell us where you are and what you do in the industry.
Okay, so right now I'm located in Richmond, Virginia. I have a sunglasses brand, which is called Lenz. And I also have another brand, which is called Werk It RVA. With Werk It RVA, we pretty much network with different small business owners and designers in the area to bring more awareness to their brand. Anyone that's a small business that's, getting started up, that is what, Werk It RVA, what we focus on is the small designers, the small business owners. We focus on them.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit of the backstory for both. So let's start with, you say Lux Lens.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about, like, the backstory to Lux Lens, and then you, honestly, just like how you got to doing this in the industry and what led you to this industry.
Well, myself, I'm a type of person, I like to wear different accessories. So I like sunglasses. I love earrings. Like I just love just, fashion, you know, everything related fashion that I really like. So I was sitting down one day and I was like, well, hey, I like sunglasses. Like I like, sunglasses with the rhinestones, the decor. Like I like those, type of sunglasses. So I decided to start up that brand, and it's called Lux Lens. So I just started this brand like 2018. So I've been in the business for the past 3 years. Business is going okay and stuff, but I definitely always trying to look for bigger and better ideas and for better ways that I can do things. And so while running Lux Lens, I was thinking of, okay, well, hey, I want to, bring more awareness to my brand. Like, how would I actually do that in the city? Like, I don't know anybody here. So I was like, okay, let me, start reaching out to people. So I wanted to have a show, like a showcase to show off, Lux Lens. But then I was like, okay, well, hey, no one's not gonna really want to come to just a show just to see sunglasses and stuff. And I was just like, I gotta think of other ways where I can actually bring it together, where all of us, where I'm networking with different business owners that own clothing, or different business owners that own accessories. And so that's when I said, okay, let's come up with Werk It RVA. So the first show that I did, that was done, it was done in 2019. That was the first show. And that was pretty much like just like a mini fashion showcase that we did. And it went excellent. Like it really surprised myself actually, because, I was just like, man, I don't know, I'm not known here. Like I was just like, wow, okay, people actually showed up, and I was just like, okay. But the person I would like to really think that really was like been like my cheerleader and stuff like that. Like her name is Tracy, and she's with Leading Ladies RVA. Like, she's really been like my cheerleader in the corner. And she's always, when I be talking to her about things, she be like, you know what, you could do this, do it this way. Like, hey, so she's always been supportive, no matter, whatever that I had going on. So she's been supportive. So the next show we had was in February 2020, and I had it at the Mitz Gallery in Richmond, and it sold out. Like it was just a great turnout. People enjoyed themselves. Like my parents came, and I was just really glad because like my parents, like they came from Atlanta, they dressed up, like my parents really came out and supported me. So I was like, okay. Then afterwards, I was going to do a summer showcase. And then it was like COVID-19 hit. And I was like, well, you know, let's just put this to the side now. We can't have everybody in the building, and I don't know how this is going to end. So I was just putting the things to the side and trying to figure out, since COVID, how am I going to, bring more awareness to Werk It? Like, we can't do face to face. I know people are doing online things, but online is great, but I love the face to face. Like I love the virtual shows is cool, but I like going to fashion shows. So when they had, let me take about like two more rewinds back. But when I first started thinking about doing a fashion show is when I went to New York Fashion Week. And New York Fashion Week is like it's an experience. It's not just, people walking down the runway in clothes. Like, I mean, you got like a live band, you have, it's just a whole vibe and experience where you like, man, like, I'm glad I paid to come and see this, even though it's about the clothes and the fashion, but it's a whole experience involved. It's not just that. So that's why I was like, okay, I know that I could possibly, bring that to Richmond, like a experience, like not just, people walking down the runway. So that's why I was like, okay, let me bring it back to Richmond. So, but yeah, so with working and stuff, it's definitely been an experience. Like we having another show on June 13th. So, right now I'm just working on, getting the promotion and things going and start, bringing more awareness to it, because now outside is, opening up some and just, ready for the next wave and seeing how everything is going to go.
So, I heard a lot of great things, but one thing I want to ask is, because you mentioned that you didn't know anyone. So where was it that you were moving from? What brought you to Richmond?
I'm in the military, so I'm active duty. So I've been just, in and out of Virginia for a couple years. And then, so it's just been like a back and forth thing. But when I first moved here, I was coming from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I didn't know anybody in Richmond, that was in no industry or anything. Everything of people I met, it's just been, completely off networking and just, trying to connect with different people and, what are they trying to, bring to the table here.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like we talked about it. I don't know. We did a live a couple weeks ago about just like the power of networking, especially in this industry, um, and just how important it is. And, my story is completely different, but kind of, well, it's different, but similar. Because I think I told you, when I started my business, I was in a town that, I didn't know anyone really, and not really a creative town necessarily. Like Richmond's a pretty creative town, pretty creative city. There are a lot of there's a lot of creative energy in Richmond, I would say. But where I started my business definitely wasn't a fashion town. So like I get completely stepping into, not only are you stepping into something new, but you're stepping into in a place that you don't like, you don't know anyone, like you don't have a network yet. So I commend you for that, because I know it's not easy, but just goes to show, like I said, the power of networking. But I have to ask, so like if you're in the military and you're active duty military, correct?
Yeah.
So how are you balancing this military life and fashion creative life on the side?
That's a good question. I don't know how I'm balancing it. Cause like my hands are in like a lot of different pots. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I do work a lot and, I'm a recruiter. So I'm always out, if that makes any sense. So it kind of goes hand in hand, but it's definitely a way that I'm trying to figure out like how do I manage everything, I'm putting my hands into. And so now I'm actually, before, we get out the door, like I'm actually going to be planning my days out to a T. Like, and that way I can make sure that everything that I'm into is getting done, because it's like, what needs to get done, but it's like, if you don't write it out, you miss it. Like, oh, and then this day went by fast. Like, I thought I had all the time to do some things. And then I looked up, it's almost, 5 o'clock for our meeting. So that's
Right,
why
right.
this day grows by fast.
The days go by really fast. And like I like how you said, because I mean, a lot of people do like the digital calendar and stuff like that, which I guess if it works for you is fine. But I'm the type of person, like I'm like you, I have to write it down. So I still have like old school planner and I like write down everything in my planner. But what I do is I write it down, and I also like, you know, that day put an alarm in my phone, because I'm like, if I just try to remember, or if I just rely on the phone, sure, it might beep and tell me, oh, you should be on a call right now. But my thing is that by then, if my alarm is beeping at me and I'm just now getting on the call, then I'm late. I'm,
Yeah, that's what
I'm
that's
late for the call.
exactly. So, like, I don't
It's
like
more of a
to
reminder.
I don't like to waste people's time, and because I know time is money. So, I try to, be, try to, do better with the writing down and stuff, especially because I run like multiple businesses. Like
Right.
the good thing about working is like, the ramp up is, for the show. Afterwards and stuff, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep the brand alive, but that's just doing little events here and there, partnering up. But the ramp up is really like for the show, like
Right.
on making sure that all the pieces are there and stuff, which everything is really coming together, pretty much. It's just making sure that people are aware of it and, come out to show support. Because like I told, all of the designers and stuff, if people are not buying tickets, like we putting all our hard work for no reason. Like, so I was like, it's a responsibility of all of us to come together to promote the show and stuff, because I do my part, but you got to do your part too, because your brand is a part of the show. So of
Right.
course you want people to come out and see your brand.
Right.
So everybody should be promoting the show, whether you doing whatever ideas you have, like it should all comes down to promoting the show, because your brand, like my brand Lenz is going to be there, the sunglasses. So obviously I'm trying thinking of ways of on my audience and stuff to promote the show, meaning that whether you do giveaways or whatever the situation, like you need to promote the show. Like it's always about promoting the show.
Well, I mean, yeah, so that was something, when we've done shows in the past and stuff like that. Yeah, like I think each model was given a certain amount of tickets or something like that, to promote it. Because yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we may be the ones producing it and all of that stuff, but you know, you're in it, or your brand is involved with it. You know, the stores, we're pulling clothes from stores and looks from stores. So it does end up being a team effort, in the sense of, attendance and all of that good stuff. But it's a win-win for everyone, though, because if people are coming to the show, then they're getting to see all these different brands and all that stuff, and they're getting to see whoever modeling, and you just never know what um what leads to what, who's sitting in that audience, who knows someone who knows. And you just, like, I've heard so many stories of situations like that, when it's like you just never know who you're sitting next to, type of thing. So I think that's great. But I've been in the industry now for 11 years, so like I know like what goes on behind the scenes, and how much work it takes to do like a fashion show and stuff. So you had no experience in this before. So what was it like for you
It
to
was crazy. It was
jump into
crazy
this?
stressful. Like, and it still is, like, it was crazy stressful because I have people that's helping me and stuff, but like I don't have like a team. And hopefully, once everything is stuff, I will hope to have like that whole, team thing of Work It, like, because these will go a lot smoother if I have a team. I have people helping, but if I don't make sure that it's done, it's not going to get done. And it's good to have people that believe in your vision, that's in your corner about it and stuff, where it's like, okay, if she didn't do it, I know that this person making sure that it's getting done. Like, I know that it's getting done. I know that they reaching out to people on far as promoting the show and stuff. Like, I know that that's happening,
Right.
but
Yeah.
so, but it's all
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
A team makes such a huge difference. I know that when my mentor and I started, like it was kind of just the two of us, and kind of the same thing, like people kind of helping out. And then, as time went on, we actually had a team. But That makes, of course, that makes such a huge, because there's a lot. I always say that, like, to me, fashion shows are like weddings. Like, like I'm talking about just the ceremony, not necessarily the the party, the reception, but like the ceremony. Like, people don't understand, like, so unless you've done it, like the same way you have all these months of planning and everything like that, just like for a wedding, all this stuff that has to go through it. And then depending on whether or not you have entertainment, whatever, like the average fashion show is 30 minutes to an hour. So you did all of that for that short
Exactly.
chunk of time. And so it's like, it's a lot that you have to do for like a 30-minute on average fashion show. And, you know, yeah, like you really, you need people, because it's like you can't really, you can, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be following with people and like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And there's just a lot. And I think that a lot of people, if they've never experienced it, they don't understand the amount of work
It's
that
a lot of work.
it's a lot of work. It's a lot because you're coordinating a whole lot for the actual day, but then a lot of times you're working with models, or you're I don't know, like, I don't know, like, there's casting calls, there's trying on clothes, there's pulling outfits, there's a lot, there's, you know and somebody has to pull all of that together. And then what you guys see on the runway is like, oh, beautiful, and everything's perfect. And
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work.
And it just, I'm not complaining and stuff because I'm a hard worker and stuff. And at the end of the day, like I stress out to them, like, the people that's a part, they may say something, but I was like, at the end of the day, it's still my brand, Work It RVA. So I was like, I still have to make sure that things are together and stuff on, just making sure everything runs smooth. And hopefully as I grow and then like, we have like a bigger budget, or if it's a situation where I merge with someone, like we come together, I don't mind doing that either. If it's someone that's like, hey, this is what I'm doing, but this is what you're doing, why don't we kind of bring our brands together with this? I wouldn't
Right.
mind that either. Like if
Right.
someone, if and then the responsibility on everything is not just on me because we're a partner on this stuff. I wouldn't
That's
mind that either. Just FYI, anybody.
She's like, hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
No, like, I think that's great. I talk about that all the time with Worthy. I'm like, collaborate, put your heads together, put your resources together, put your network together, and collaborate, because especially, I don't know. This industry can be obviously very competitive, very cutthroat, but the thing is, it doesn't have to be. Like, I think
Exactly.
we make it that way, and it doesn't have to be competitive, cutthroat. Um, because what I bring to the table and my skill set and my vision for something is going to be completely different than yours. So what we do is, okay, let's come together, work at RVA. We're going to handle this. Worthy, y'all, do that part. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's your vision. It's Work at RVA's vision, and we have to be mindful of that. But I may have a certain way of creating that vision that maybe you didn't think of. And then on top of that, I have an extended network. You have an extended. So I just, like, I tell people all the time, like, honestly, come together and work together on projects, because then you can make the project even bigger, even better. You're going to be reaching more people at that point and things like that. So I personally am like, I don't see anything wrong with collaborations at all. So I mean, we've personally been what's the word I'm looking for? Been approached, there we go, for a couple of different collaborations, partnerships, and I think it's great. And I think that we need to see more of that in the industry.
I think so too. Like, I mean, even with, growing my sunglasses brand and stuff the way I want to, it's like, it's not like, in order for your business to grow, like you have to collaborate and you have to kind of set systems in place or whatever, because I just realized and stuff that I can't do all of it.
Right.
And even if, if I wasn't working full time, but I can't do it all, and it's stressful when you're trying to making sure that, it's A, B, C, and D done. Like even when I get off the call with you and stuff, I got some more calls and I got to send out emails, to vendors and saying like, if they interested, pay here, send out the flyer to see, hey, can they start promoting it? Like it's still more things that I have to do because like I told them, it's all a collaborative thing, but if we, come together and we don't have anybody in the seats, we just, hey, like I'm not saying we wasted our time, but we wasted our time. Like we need to fill the seats. Right. So it's like whatever we need to do, whether you do a giveaway or something of your brand, because if you have a following, I don't care if you have 800 followers, like you can at least pull, in my opinion, 15 to 20 people out of your 800 followers to come to the show.
Right.
Yeah, just
no, it's a marketing, it's a skill set, marketing, advertising. It's also a numbers game, to be quite honest, with those kinds of things. And there's actually a method to like even pricing tickets and all this stuff. Like that's why I say I think people there's more to it than what's on the surface. At the end of the day. So again, it's been a while since I've produced and been on the I helped out on the back end with a fashion show a couple years ago, but I was just helping. I wasn't part of like the production team or anything like that. I just was kind of helping back in. So it was nice to kind of, I felt bad for the people who were like on the team because I saw them running around, but it was nice to just kind of come in and do my job and go home.
That's the thing.
It's been a while since I've just been able to come and do my job and roll on home. And I'm like, it's gearing up. It's coming.
That's the thing. Like, of the day of the show, like, yeah, my brand is in it, but I'm pretty much like the producer. Right. Making sure everything I can't just go home, right, I have
exactly.
So
oh yeah, I remember, we're the first ones there and the last ones to leave at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I'm the last one. I'm the first one there, early, and I'm there all day, yep. And just making sure. So while the other designers are, they show they little line. They can maybe be free to go afterwards, but I got to make sure that the building is back in order. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that the chairs are back up right and nothing looking crazy and stuff. I have to make sure. Right. But I'm glad you said that because I definitely need to get with you after our call as far as marketing, because I just know how people work here. People buy tickets very last minute here. I say a week before the show. Is if you promoted it enough, that's when people will start buying tickets.
Right. I have noticed that. Well, I noticed that in the past with shows that we've done. It's unless they knew someone, unless they got it from a model or somebody like that, someone they knew, yes, tickets really wouldn't start disappearing till the week before, which is terrible for us because we're we want to get a better feel, ahead of time. So it's hard when it's a week before we're kind of starting to finally see final numbers. And I remember one show we did, we ended up not having enough seating. So people were standing up, which wasn't our plan, but because people were buying tickets all last minute,
that's what happened for the last show.
Right.
We had to turn people away. Right. Because I wasn't expecting, to be honest with you, I was not expecting that many people to come exactly. that. We had to turn people away, and because it was hey, we have capacity in here. There's nowhere for you to sit.
Yep.
And so that's why I was telling him and stuff hey, don't worry. If everybody doing what they're supposed to do, tickets will sell. It's 5 designers, 5 or 6 designers. If everybody doing what they're supposed to do, tickets will sell.
Right. I said, at the end of the day, fashion shows, especially for us who are in the industry, They can be a great time. I personally love fashion shows. I love seeing what designers have coming out, what's going on. But then also, like, depending on the flow of the show, just the networking aspect of it, of course, and things like that. So at the end of the day, I think, the work is worth it. And even though it's like you're exhausted and you sleep for a week afterwards, um, it's like, I don't know. For me, I'm always exhausted, always. But
Me too.
yeah, always like I'm wiped out. But at the end of at the same time, while I'm doing it, while we're going through, I'm happy. Like I haven't thought of a time where I'm like I'm exhausted and I don't feel like doing this. You know what I mean? It's like I still want to get up and do it every day because I just love it. I love doing it so much that that's what gets me up and going again. And then at the end I'm just kind of like, why did I just do that, like and then I always promise myself it's going to be like 10 years before I do another show.
That's what I said, because that I'm glad you said that, because like at first I wasn't going to do another one, and I was going to wait for a second, because I was just like, let me see how this COVID goes. Let me just put to see what direction. But then it was one of the designers was like, yo, you should do another one. Like, come on. I'm like, are you helping with this? Because this is a lot of work. And I pretty much did a whole lot without a team. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that like that anymore. Like, I was like, it was some stressful nights. I'm sitting there like, man, I don't know if nobody coming. Like, I was like, I said, I don't know if I can do that again, and he was like, no, I'm gonna help you. So he's been a great help and things like that. But like I said, a team would definitely be a asset. And I know the whole idea with Werk It too. Like I wanted to do like traveling, like pop-up fashion shows. But the only way I'd be able to do that, like I would have to have some sort of POC or team in those cities and stuff, because it would not work if it's just me doing everything. Like it would not work at all.
Right. I think the moral is really that it does take a team, it takes a village, to be honest. But I think with the right team, like I've seen some amazing fashion shows come together, and it really does. It comes down to the team that you have. So it's like, as the producers and the production team, I guess you could say, it's being kind of selective about who you're choosing to bring on to your team. And then of course, if you're the team, really giving your full effort, because it's also at the end of the day something you want to be proud of and proud to say that you were a part of. So
yeah, that's what
think
I
all
told
in
him
all,
too.
yeah, like I think all in all, the moral is the team makes a huge difference. But I wanted to just say thank you for taking the time to chat. Like it's been nice to hear a little bit more about you and what you're doing, in the fashion industry and Richmond, and what you're bringing, to the industry, like here in well, I'm not in Richmond, but in the area, in
Nah,
this
I
area.
appreciate it, because I mean, Richmond, they have it's a lot of things going on here. And one thing that I always take with different things of what different cities are doing, I wish Richmond to do a swim week, like and I'm just, that's just my idea. I know that would take some work, but they have the RVA Fashion Week, like that's great, but they should do something like a whole swim week where they have like different designers, like things that's kind of cultivated for the summertime. Like, if people got beach wear, summertime type of things, like I think that would really do well here. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that may be something that could be a collaboration type project that, a couple people put their heads together and do. I feel like that's something that's very doable in this area. This area, like I said, it is very creative area. So there are a lot of people out there, a lot of creatives out there, kind of doing their thing. So, but we like I said, I just want to say thanks for chatting and sharing more, but look forward to hearing and seeing more about your upcoming show.
But yeah, I'm still but I'm gonna reach out to you tomorrow because I got a couple calls. But yeah, I definitely need to reach out to just to see, you know, some other things on far as promoting the show and stuff. Like just making sure that I did my just do on everything.
Sounds good. Not a problem. We're
All
here.
right. Okay.
We're here for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
All right. You
evening.
too.
Bye.
Bye.